Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, Charles Ngobeni is an author for the book Unlocking the Success Code. Now, he also boasts being an entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, an alchemist, and a pastor. And he joins us to talk more on this book on how one can fight poverty and understand more on the codes of success. Good morning to you, Sam. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Penny, and morning to all the viewers out there.
Great stuff. Okay, so when people say that they're an alchemist, what do we need to understand?
Now, an alchemist is somebody who's able to mix the chemicals and turn it into something usable. You know, there's nothing wrong in studying physics and chemistry, but there's something wrong in having 6-7 degrees in chemistry. You're a doctor of chemistry, but you can't even manufacture your own perfume. So as an alchemist, I've got my own products. I'm able to mix the products that will eventually give you your bio oil, or you call it a tissue oil. I've got my own cosmetic range that I am, during my own spare time when I'm bored, sitting at home at around my pool, then I do the formulations.
So just like that?
Just as simple as all that.
Okay. So how did you get into business? Because your book talks about unlocking success. What sort of businesses did you get into?
Look, my first business, which was easy to get into about 26 years back, it was a taxi e-business, which was easy because all that I needed to be inside that business was a salary advice and a South African ID book, and that's all I needed. I did not need any money. That's why I always say, and fight with the people who say they are not in business because they don't have money, because you do not need to have money in order to be in business. All you need is God-given creative ideas. And if you have got a God-given creative idea, money is no longer an issue. Anybody can fund your business. If you read my story on Footprints of a Legend, how I started that taxi business, it becomes interesting.
So how many taxis did you end up having?
I ended up having 8 and became a chairperson of an association.
Okay.
But then I was a high school teacher by then.
Okay.
And for me to move into a taxi business, I just realized, look, after school hours, what do? I can't drink. Okay. I kept myself busy. During weekends, what do you do as a high school teacher? You are bored. During school holidays, what do? And it's an ample lot of time that we can use as a high school teacher to make money. And then from there, I moved into restaurants where I started Wimpy Restaurant. I think I was the first black-owned, black entrepreneur to have a Wimpy in Hillbrow. But that's 23 years back.
Okay, so now you have about 6 or so of them.
7.
7.
And still counting.
And still counting.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the book Unlocking the Success Code.
Yes.
You know, a lot of unemployment is high in our country, close to about 27% or so of unemployed people, and half of that is young people.
Yes.
And 26 years ago, I'm sure you were a young person at some point, and you also had you had ideas. And young people today are saying they don't know where to go. How can this book help them?
This book will help the young people, even the elderly, to create their own wealth, to create their own employment. Why should you employ it if you can create one? I mean, currently I'm employing about 450 people. And God's willing, this year, if I were to open my mining project, I'm talking I'll be employing more than 1,000 in my mine. You know, everybody has got a potential to create their own wealth. Everybody has got a potential to create their own job, if I were to put it that way. You see, Penny, the other time I was sitting at home, because I love clean stuff, I saw a spider in my house, and then I wanted to kill it. But something came to me. You know, I remember when we grew up, there was a poem which says, all creatures great and small, the Lord God created them all. Then I said, no, man, I can't kill the spider. But the spider was in its own spider web, waiting for a catch, you know. Then I decided to take a feather duster and clean it. And after cleaning it, I love my house, it was so clean. But guess what? Few minutes later, I looked at a different corner.
There was another spider.
Same spider, not another spider.
Oh, it had now created another web.
And the spider had not gone out of my house. Then I realized inside every human being, God has given us creative materials. Everything that pertains to life and godliness has already been given to us. We all have what it takes to be success.
But and tapping into that is, for a lot of people, it's very hard. So you have the book comes with a workbook.
Yes.
12 traits of highly successful people.
Yes.
Fighting poverty, creating billionaires. Okay, just take us through that. How does the workbook and the book work?
You see, I just realized people, they read the book and then they put it on the shelf. It does not help them. But if you read the book, it goes along with the workbook, because I want you to write assignments which are on the workbook based on the book, so that the whole thing become real. For instance, when I talk about your dream wall, because everything that there is, somebody has imagined it first. So you use the power of your imagination. All what I have today is what I've imagined first. I had it on my dream wall. I can ask you now, how many pictures do you have on your cell phone? You probably tell me 1,000 of them. I ask you, out of 1,000 pictures that you have on your cell phone or on your album, how many are the pictures of your past? Most probably all of them. How many pictures of your future, how you want to see yourself to be in your cell phone, in your album? Most probably we have got zero. So with me, I've got pictures of my past on the wall, full of pictures of my kids when they grew up, myself when I grew up. But then I've got pictures of my future, what I want to be. All the properties that I have today, I had a picture of that property on the wall, so that whenever I walk into my office, it reminds me of my future. Then I know what I want to have. Something is seeable before believable, believable before achievable. So I wanted to create a dream wall for me to visualize it. So now in my workbook, after you have read the chapter on dream wall, I take you step by step, helping you to create your own dream wall. If we talk about the business plan, for instance, you must design your own business plan, not mine. So I'm helping people to be more creative and to be themselves.
Okay. I'm sure you go around interacting with a lot of young people.
Yes.
And people even older who are trying to realize their dreams that they might have given up on when they're young. What are some of the things you think that holds people back? Because what is locking them so that they can be able to unlock?
Number one, they think it's money. It's nothing else to do with money. You need creative ideas. Once you have got creative ideas, money is all over. Anybody can fund it. You need to overcome the mentality that you need money. Secondly, I think most of us, we are lazy. We need to work very hard. There are people who goes out there and have seminars. They say work smart and not hard. And with all honesty, I disagree with them. There's nothing like working smart. Yes, we can work both smart but hard. The very same people who conduct the seminars and tell you to work smart, but now they don't even sleep. They spend the whole night preparing for the seminar whilst you were asleep. So laziness is one of the big challenges that we have in the country. Another one is the blame game. You see, if I push you into water, it is my fault that you are wet. But if I come back after 3 or 4 days and I still find you wet, standing around the pool, and say, Charles has pushed me in here, that's why I'm wet, there must be something wrong with you.
So you must get out and dry yourself.
Get up and dry yourself and move on.
Okay.
I can't take it. After 23, 24 years of apartheid that has been dismantled, we still blame apartheid today. That can't be right.
But I mean, there's a mind shift that still needs to happen, because
definitely.
So how can people overcome that?
Read my book.
Okay. So how do you track? So you have the book and the workbook. How do you track the people who've benefited from it? Do you have workshops yourself? Do you have programs? Yes. How does it work? I
do conduct a lot of workshops. I do speak in many seminars. I do speak in many church conferences, because my book is based also on scriptures as well. I do have my website. People, they interact with me. I've got my own Facebook. I've got a number of people who are following me on Facebook, and we do interact. And I've got a lot and great testimonies of people who have been helped, who out of nothing, You know, people, they thought that they're nothing, and today they're multimillionaires. You know, you know, I remember the other time, this is a nice funny story. You know, I went into the bathroom. I sat down there helping myself. After helping myself, you know what you do. I looked behind me, I saw my mess. I wanted to flush it, but I was too jealous to flush my mess. You know, because something told me, somebody at the end of the storage line is waiting patiently so, with a bucket empty, waiting to catch up my mess and turn it into a manure, just for me to go and buy it back from Pick and Pay shop.